Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 3 on doing the animation class. For the most part, we got everything done. We got to update, unload content, load content, everything. We've got it done. What we need to do now is we need to just set everything up. So, what we're going to do is we're going to include fade animation in our screenmanager.h, and we're going to we're going to make an instance of the class and call it transition. And within our screenmanager.cpp, what we're going to do is we're going to say transition.load content. Okay, so as we know, load content takes in 3 parameters: image, text, and a position. So right now we don't have an image. We don't want to display text. We want to do fading out. Okay, so right now we're going to be fading out to black, and if any of you guys want to fade out to a different color, it's up to you. But yeah, we're going to be fading out to black in this tutorial, and you can, if you don't want to do this color, you can do a different color by all means. So what we want to do is we want to get a color that is the screen size. Now if you want, you can get one that's really small, which is easy to load in, and then like scale it to be the same size as the screen, which would probably be a really good idea, but we're not going to go through all that right now. So what we're going to do is, my screen size is 800 by 600. If you're unsure about the size, then make it a black box with a pixel about 1 by 1, and then scale it to the screen's width and screen's height. That way, no matter what screen size you have or whatever, then the fade animation will work better. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this in with the color black, and I'm going to save this in my project folder, and I'm going to save it as what should I name it? Transition image, or I'm not sure. Okay, so C++ projects, and I'm gonna name it transition image. Okay, and it's a PNG file. Okay, so what we're gonna do in the load content, we're going to want to load in, we're gonna want to create a bitmap, and we're gonna want to pass in that bitmap into our parameters. So in the private section, we're just gonna have a bitmap, and we're going to call it, I don't know, transition image, I guess. Okay. So in the load content, we're gonna have transition image is equal to al load bitmap, and we're gonna load transition image dot png. Okay, now we should probably have a unload. Yeah, right now, since we're doing this, we will create a new function right now, and our new method called unload content. And we're gonna put this right here. So we're just going to destroy our image. So al destroy bitmap. So we're just gonna put transition image in there. So if we go to our main.cpp, after everything is done, we're just gonna call screen manager unload content. Okay. Oh, screen manager get instant, sorry, dot unload content. Okay. So now that we got our image loaded in, then we're just gonna pass in transition image in there, and let me see if I named it right. Well, I should have named it right. I'll check later. Transition image, we have nothing for the string. And for our position, we should put the position at, it should start at 0, 0, right? So we'll just make a position right here. So float position is equal to 0, 0. and we'll put a position there, and we probably don't even, we could probably create the Allegro bitmap in here and then just paste it in there, since we just create a copy of the image. Therefore we don't really have to destroy the bitmap at the end, etc., but it's really up to you which way you want to go about it. So we call the load content right there, and we're going to have our unload content in there. And so for our update, what we need to do is that when they click the add screen, then we have to handle the transition, and then when we do transition, then everything falls into place. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a private function, and we're going to call it transition, and we'll put it near the bottom. Okay, so what this is going to do is that when they click add screen, what we need to do is that we need to fade it out. That's when we're going to call transition. So when we fade it out, we're going to set all our new things, and then we're going to fade it right back in. So this is how we're going to go about it. So the thing about it is that we set our default value in our animation class to 255, right? But if we were to display our image, it would just show the full black image at 255. So what we really got to do is that we got to set the alpha to be able to set the value to 0. Right, so what we need to do is we need to make a bunch of get set functions. So we're going to have a float set alpha, and we'll have a value. No, we'll just have void set alpha, and we'll have a value, and we'll have a float get alpha, and it will just return the value. So in our animation.cpp, we're going to say void animation set alpha, and we're going to take a new value, and we'll say this alpha is equal to alpha. And for the get alpha, we're just going to return alpha. Okay, so we got our get and set method, and it should be float. Okay, so we have, I believe everything should be going well. Yep, everything's good. Okay, so in our screen manager class, when they click add screen, what we want to do is we need to set the default. So we need to set fade animation dot set alpha, and we need to set the alpha to 0. Okay, and no, sorry, it's called transition. So transition dot set alpha is equal to 0. So we're gonna set the alpha to 0, and because alpha is set to 0, then we should also in the like the increase should be set to 0 as well. So what we should do is that we should make this function virtual. So if we go to our animation right here, so we're going to make this a virtual void. So we're going to, in our fade animation class, if our fade animation calls it, so we got to go to void set alpha, and we'll have our value. So if the fade animation calls it, then we're going to do something different. So we're going to have our fade animation, and we're going to say set alpha. So we're going to say that alpha is going to be equal to, sorry about that. So we're going to say alpha is going to be equal to our value, and we're going to say that if alpha is equal to 0, then increase is equal to true. Else if alpha is equal to 255, then increase is equal to false. Okay, so that way we'll be able to change it accordingly. So you might be saying, why do we make it virtual, etc., etc.? Well, for example, if in my screen manager class say I created an instance, I could create this in a pointer. I can make an animation pointer, and if I wanted to switch between two different animations, then I could set my animation pointer to point to a different animation when I need that different animation, right? But for now, we only need one animation, which is the fade animation, so this is the reason why it doesn't seem significant at the moment. But I will end the tutorial right here because I don't want to make it too long. In the next tutorial we should have the full transition done. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and bye.